Good night,
Yes,
everybody.
yes.
See
Good
as
night.
if Stella dropped out one time there. Okay, Stella's gonna come back in. But good night, everybody. Good night, Sukor. Good night,
Yes,
More.
yes.
Good night to everybody who's joining us tonight. And of course, any ardent football fan would have been glued to their TVs today. And if you were not glued to your TVs for the entire game, you must have caught the ending of all these games because
Fun.
you had some thrillers today. And I think the recurring theme for this World Cup, at least in my mind, this is why we love football. This
Hmm.
is why we watch the game. This is why we play the game. This is why we get worked up. This is why we set our schedule to watch these games because they're unpredictable. And when you think that, because surely I didn't look, it didn't for me. It didn't look like Netherlands had anything going for them. And
Hmm.
out of nothing,
Hmm.
two goals. Togo, when did it even look like they could score one? When did
Yeah.
it even look like they could score one? They scored two. So it's brilliant stuff. Stella is here with us. We can see him clearly. Can we hear you clearly? Mic check, Cello.
1, 2, check, check,
All
check.
right, check, check. All right, good stuff. So we are here. I'm still waiting for my good friend Joe. The last I heard from him was that he was on his
Yo.
way to Devil's Bridge, and this was about maybe about
Shut,
after one.
Yeah.
shut.
So
That
I'm
Call
that
Joe,
sending
was
please.
it.
a SOS to Joe.
Call
To
Joe,
Joe.
please.
Joe need to
Call
check
Joe,
in.
please. Call Joe,
Joe
please.
needs to check in. Because I'm wondering where he is right now. But guys, let's just get straight into it because I want us to touch. I want us to save some time for that England France matchup tomorrow. Because if it's anything like what we've seen today, tomorrow's gonna be a good one. Tomorrow's gonna be another good one. So it's only right that I start with the our one of our resident Brazil fans, the blues, and he's singing the blues right now because his heart is broken. He was telling me pre-show that from minute one he was on his feet watching the game. So Sukwa, take us
Yeah.
through your heart rate, how it
Well,
ebbs, how it flowed throughout the night. Well, the 120 minutes.
well, the thing is, when we started watching, I started watching the game. I knew from the start that the midfield is always for Croatia. That is where it would be. It would be the central focus, right?
Right,
I mean, you have Modric, you have
Kovacic,
Kovacic, and then you have Brozovic, right? So those three, and these three play for three top teams as well in Europe, and they've been playing very well together for the last few World Cups as well.
right.
But
Oh,
what really surprised me though was Juranovic though, and the way
oh,
that
and the
he
right,
played
right
on the
back,
wing.
right back.
He has the right back.
Right.
Yeah. He added something to that game that I didn't really expect.
That's
Um,
fine.
from Croatia's standpoint, I think Brazil did try to move the ball uh quickly enough in some spots. I think they got some chances, but the goalkeeper was really on top form for Croatia. He was brilliant. I think the substitutions. I think to get Vinicius off very early. I wasn't really. If he was going to do something like that, then you would like again. I would have expected somewhere like probably Martinelli if you're gonna do so, right?
Right.
But Rodrigo, it kind of surprised me because I mean, based on like for like substitution, I thought Martinelli should have been on if you're looking for
Oh,
that goal, right?
surely,
Mm-hmm.
Sukwa,
Mm-hmm.
on the Martinelli issue,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, on the
Right.
Martinelli issue, he
Mm-hmm.
didn't. He opted even after he brought in Rodrigo. Let's say they're ahead of him in the pecking order.
Right.
Why did this? What's his name? Pedro.
Yeah.
So come on. Well, not
Yeah.
even before Martinelli. Come on, instead of Martinelli.
Right. Yeah. I still find that because if he was gonna do something like that, okay, let's say he's not gonna take on sub in Pedro, but he's gonna bring on Martinelli. I was just interested to see how they would have shifted the attack. Like where
Right.
would you put Rodrigo now? Probably as a little center, but I mean he's very small. If you if you're gonna
Yeah,
put him
I
as a
mean
center forward
Martinelli could be. I know Martinelli
or
could play
Martin,
tonight.
right? So I think though as the game went on, of course you saw the dominance from Croatia in the middle, because Casemiro had a lot of work to do. Then I think, and again, as the game goes on, you'd expect, and Croatia is that kind of a team. You know, if you don't get your chances early, you don't put them away. They can go the distance, right? They've shown
Right.
that for quite a few World Cups. I mean, Neymar finally got his goal. Actually to break that. I mean, that was a brilliant piece of but you're not seeing that enough of him, like these kind of runs into the box, right?
Super young
You're not
guy.
seeing that, right? You're
Yeah.
not seeing that enough from them. There was one or two chances that they had where they did the nice little 1-2 touches in the box, just really because for that kind of defense that sits deep, you need this kind of
Right.
touches in the box to open up some space. They did that, but I don't think they did that enough, right? Enough to, because you don't, again, you want to win that game in regular time. You don't want to take it into a lottery where, penalties. I mean,
Right.
that can go either way. It's just a goalkeeper on form on the day,
You,
right? Allison
you're
never had
so
to face
right.
any kind of a shot, if you if,
Mhm.
if you know what I mean. So um, yeah, and I just think it's just them being naive with at least 3 minutes left in the game. Like as we discussed pre-show, um, I think they just had about like four, 5 guys in the back when Croatia now looking for a goal, because Croatia is gonna come now trying to use that possession that they would have had, which they had the majority of the possession. But then you have about like 6 guys up top, and then you have only 4 defenders at the back. That doesn't make sense. You see, trying to see out the game
Especially
like
in
about
the
two
position you
two
are.
minutes
Right.
left in the game, right?
Right.
So that was one of the main downfalls, I think, in that part. It's just a lapse of concentration with that, trying to see out that.
I fully
Uh,
agree with you. I fully agree
mm,
with you so far because in my mind, yes, Brazil, they were one of the favorites coming in, and
mhm,
I'm going to more next because for me, watching Brazil,
mhm.
for me, knowing what I'm accustomed to when I watch a Brazil team, I didn't get enough of it. I didn't get enough of the
Yeah.
flair, the quick
Mhm,
passing, the rhythm, the skill on the ball, the runs
mhm,
of it. Okay, put it this way: that Neymar goal,
mhm.
we didn't see enough of that throughout the tournament and in
Right, I
throughout
agree.
this match. So,
Yeah.
more then, as a neutral, how was it for you? What did you pick up? Because we can even spare. Yes, we're talking about Brazil, but we can spare a word for Croatia and they're brilliant. They're resilient.
Yeah, we can touch on both of it. But I start off with Brazil. Especially after that Neymar goal, I was expecting to see, that Neymar that when the game is going his way, that we see that Neymar starts to brighten up, that Neymar that
Mhm,
laugh, and that's a very dangerous. I expected him to take the game by the scruff of the neck that time, like be the one to give me the ball, and I will, he's going to get the kicks at that time. And I saw the game being slowed down, and it was
mhm,
slowed down to a point like it's not slowed down to try to draw contact to commit fouls or anything. It was just a stagnant game. Like I stopped, slow down everything, and then we have to figure out what's the next option. And I think that's
mhm,
where Brazil started to lose the game because they
mhm.
took one foot off the pedal. And I mean, even in extra time to jump to Croatia, I started counting them out because after a while it didn't look like they were going to score because these crosses were in the box were just
Yeah.
keep going back post and it looked very bleak.
Right.
Um, huge, huge, huge big up to Arctic on a half cutback because not even myself read it watching the game,
Right.
and
You would
clearly
have seen that.
the Brazilians never saw it too. Unfortunate deflection from off of Marquinhos because we
Yeah.
saw him took a very big
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
and
Allison had
the
that
keeper
covered.
couldn't do anything. Yeah,
Mm,
I just really think that Brazil did a very poor job in
the last.
managing the game
Last.
after
Yeah.
after they
Hmm.
scored the goal.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
You're
Totally
so
agree.
you're so right there, Mark. We have Lyndon Luda. Luda saying good night. He is another Brazil fan.
Oh,
So
okay.
nice of you to join us, Luda. Our our
Uh,
our our other Brazil fan. We're still looking for him. There's an SMS out for him. We're still waiting for him to come. But nice of you to join us, Luda. Um, so then, Celo, you were in a jubilant mood because, of course, your Spain is home already. You get somebody else coming home too with you. So, just talk us through what you're feeling like watching that game.
Well, I'm gonna be. Me not gonna lie to you, right, shot. Me never get to watch the game. Me fall asleep. When me wake up, a penalty shootout.
Yeah.
When me wake up, a
Um,
penalty shootout.
okay. So let's touch on that now, and that's a perfect segue because you and to be fair to you, Cello, you from since I think it's a couple games back now, you've been saying send your strongest penalty taker first.
Always.
Why didn't I, I have my qualms with this because even when it got to the Marquinhos kick, I
Hmm.
don't think Marquinhos should have taken that kick with the
Yep.
game on the line. When you
Yep.
have Neymar and you know how composed he is in that, because what Neymar scores, then you don't know what happens next.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you
yeah.
still have to
For
kick.
me,
Doing
for me, Neymar was trembling for me when it comes to the penalty shootout. He was
I
the reason why I say he was trembling because like he had in his mind, okay, after he shoot, you understand? He probably have in mind, boy, he must step up and me miss. Everybody get their talk about my miss. You understand? So to me, I feel he was nervous. He didn't know what to do.
I
You
don't feel it was
understand?
Neymar's decision. Do you think it was Neymar's decision or Tite, however you pronounce his name, the Brazil coach,
Yeah.
says
Well,
that this is the lineup and we sticking to it?
Hmm.
but sticking to the lineup, leaving out Neymar, that one is tough.
Cello,
Yeah,
not Cello,
that's
not
where I put
totally,
it.
totally, but if you look back at Brazil's penalties that they normally take, even self that penalty that they won in the Olympics, right, where
Hmm.
Neymar,
Neymar
won it.
completed. Yeah.
Looking at the history, he's normally that penalty taker to win out to normally be the fifth one to be that last decisive penalty kick. But
Hmm.
still, I agree with you. I even self agree with Shaq. I thought the order should have changed even if they had it to make Neymar go and replace Marquinhos.
The thing is more, regardless, we know now me yeah, we save the best for last. But now things change more. We see in the past penalty shootouts. You
Hmm.
understand? You're not sending your best players, put your team in jeopardy. You understand? So the coach now, he's supposed to say, boy, right now, this year, you go hard, I'll go home.
That's it.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's what Argentina did.
Hmm.
Argentina say, here, yeah, if I don't go hard, who am I going to? So here,
Hmm.
Messi, you're the captain.
Hmm.
This year, up to you now what you
Okay.
want to do.
Set the
Messi,
pace.
step up.
Hmm.
Take the pressure off your team. So the rest man them know then get confidence because the captain don't go and ease the
Yeah.
pressure. You understand?
My
So
contention with
I think Neymar should have stepped up and kicked first. You
well,
understand?
okay,
Hmm.
I don't really have sorry to say, I don't really have a problem with him not kicking first because I think quality, of course, pressure is a pressure situation. I can understand that, but they have quality players enough to step up and kick the first penalty. But you leave Neymar there to kick the last penalty because you're thinking that the game on the line you want the best taker to kick the ball. The game was on the line with a Marquinhos penalty. Why didn't he take that? Because the game
that's
was
the
on the line.
thing.
That's what Neymar is there for.
Yeah.
But
That was
at that
puzzling.
you say a defender. So out of all of the attackers, what you trying to tell me? None of these other attackers that that 5 man can kick penalty. You send your defender. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, Cello,
Hmm.
I glad you touched on that because going into the penalty shootout, Brazil's penalty, it was. I thought it was a little suspect because looking on the field, who on there we know that takes penalties
The
because
club.
I have never seen Rodrigo taking a penalty. I don't know. I doubt Marquinhos takes them because you have Messi, Mbappe, even
That's what I'm
Sergio.
saying. I never
Right.
see Marquinhos kick a penalty.
I don't
Hmm.
know anything about Pedro. I just hear he's doing great in the Brazil league
No,
over there. So I give the benefits of the doubt, but we don't have any known. If
No one.
Richarlison was there, I think
Yeah.
more confidence would have been there because I've seen him kick penalties and probably I don't know maybe Vinny or something like that. But
Yeah.
it was just suspect from the start.
It's a bit of a weird one on the balance of play because you had a brilliance from Neymar, and then like Suko said, a bit naivety to not see
Hmm.
out the I was telling Sukwa just before we came on, if Croatia was in that Brazil position, scoring
No
that
way.
1-0, that game doesn't go to penalty. I
Never.
don't see it.
Them
I
man they
don't see
put
it
everybody
penalty.
behind the ball
That's
and
right.
defend with their life.
That's right. Yep.
So that's on Brazil. That's on
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah,
Credit.
that's on them.
That's
Hmm.
credit to Croatia. That's credit to
Big
Croatia.
time.
Guys, let's jump. Anybody have any other point on this game? Because we can jump to the Ram goal.
Now I jump to the next game, man.
Next game.
Let's just do it.
That's another big up to that Croatia team.
More freeze. All right. So I think more was saying about big up to Croatia. He don't come back. Uh, okay. We have a comment here from Luda. He's saying Martin was
Yeah.
supposed to come on, and I doubt
Yeah.
it goes to penalty. That's
Yeah.
another
Because
point. And
that's it.
he's
Because
got
it
a
give you an
good
outlet
point
of
to take.
of. Mhm. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, even if even if you you know win the game and you have possibility of the game going to penalties, at least you put on people that can know here in a penalty shootout, these guys can kick penalty.
Hmm.
So you making sub, okay, you make like for like sub. Probably some
Hmm.
of your subs are like for like. But you
Yeah.
know, some of the guys you don't know you know as the coach who is a penalty kicker because you see who kick penalty in training, and I know you all have penalty
Yeah,
shootout in training.
after.
Right.
So
After.
you supposed to know here. If in case the game going to penalty, if I go sub Neymar, okay, say for instance, I go sub Neymar, I go send for Martinelli, a man that can kick on penalty. If
Right.
I go sub, if I go sub Fred, I go send for this man that man not can kick on penalty. So
Yep.
that me blame the coach for the for Brazil going home.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
One last question.
Good. Come on.
How many subs that they made in extra time? Because that could be vital to it. Because I think the subs that he made, he tried to make there hoping that they would have just seen out the game and not avoid of going to penalties.
Yeah, very penalties.
But I
But I
think
blame
like
I agree with Tello probably if you, on the substitution, the manager. But I also blame the Brazilian players for not seeing out that game properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you
No,
blame
we
them,
don't
yes.
need a
But
Because
the
coach.
thing
Fred.
is,
I don't need a coach to tell you to
the thing is more, I think when even if you make all the sub and you're going to extra time, I think you get an extra sub in extra time.
Yeah, you do.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
even if you're in the extra time, you have one more sub, one final sub.
what on Fred and
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Uh,
So
Yeah.
me even know if I said
Yeah.
that.
Because I mean,
Okay.
you have Fred coming on, right?
yeah,
But Fred, for me, like for me, okay, if Fred comes in, that's an extra boy that should be deep in midfield, deep to either get the ball or you sit just in front of the defense.
Yeah.
When we were looking for Fred all the way up with the attackers, right? In that little bit of time that he came on. So
Yeah.
I just don't understand what really he told
Saying
Fred to
that to
do.
say no, right, Suko, if you
Mm,
bring on if you bring on Fred a defensive minded player.
right.
Why did you bring on a defensive mind player? It's just you bring on attack and go for the game and done.
Yeah.
Because you have good enough defenders behind that can hold their own weight.
Right.
You understand? So you go for the game
Right.
and done. You
Hmm.
shouldn't bring Fred in the game when you have
Yeah.
so much defensive minded player already on the field. You understand?
Hmm.
You bring on an attacker and you just go for the game. Even if the game going to the penalty shootout, you have somebody that can actually kick penalty.
Yeah.
Right. So that okay. We were saying well said, more. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up and touch on the what do you call it? The Netherlands Argentina game.
Mm.
And of course, you know I've said all the time, the real goat stood up. The real
I
ram goat stood up. I
I
mean, it wasn't
definitely
oh
have
that's okay. It wasn't the 90 minutes wasn't a brilliant 90 minutes. It wasn't one to just say, you know, we're gonna watch over this game. But Weghorst came on and he did a madness. Credit to Van Hal, changed it up,
Hmm.
and then the game stood it out. What's his name? I think Argentina. I would say that Argentina had the best of the extra time, especially in the second half of
Hmm.
it, which they could have won it. I think Enzo Perez who missed the penalty, sadly for him. hit the post, and he had a couple of shots that were deflected that needed
Right.
some save from from the Netherlands goalkeeper. But guys, Messi moves on, and that's a semi-final for Messi. Talk to
That's
me about
Mm.
how the game was for you, and then there's the prospect of I not get too much in depth, but there's the prospect of Messi to another semi-final.
Mm. Well, for me, right, from what I saw, because I started watching the game and I took a little break afterwards. But
Mm.
Messi was just on song from the get go in the game, controlling, dropping deep, dictating the play, and so on.
Right.
And that pass, my goodness, I mean, it's only somebody like him that sees that kind of a pass,
So
that
real
kind
good.
of a run.
So could that remind me of Ozil boy? That remind me of Ozil for
Yeah,
real, for
like
real.
that kind of a
Unbelievable.
pass. Yo, I don't think many players, and unless you're actually a creative midfielder, that is your actual role to
Right.
actually see, but not as a I mean, Messi's main position was being like, like a wing, or through the middle itself, but not with that kind of a vision to actually see that run. And yo, when he slipped that ball through, and
Good composure
with
from the
the
right back too.
yes, yeah, and that's the thing. It's from a defender, right? That's a brilliant finish. I mean, they control the game to an extent, and then they got. I didn't see when they got the penalty. Because some people were saying they're not sure if it was outside the box, if it was inside the box, it was just like kind of on
No,
the
he was
line.
inside.
I don't know.
He was right. He was inside.
Okay,
Just
all right. And the way he dispatched that penalty too, I mean, it's like he's oozing the confidence. I just don't know. After then, they should have they should have seen off that game. I mean, there's okay. I don't know how it gets now to 10 minutes of extra time. I mean, we seen that with the Qatar World Cup, right? That's very
but you know what?
questionable. I don't understand,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Because if unless you're having some significant injuries and stuff like during that time, which but I know he had a lot of yellow cards. There was probably time and stuff
definitely
like that,
was.
but not 10 minutes.
I saw the stat. This game had the most. Has a record for
False.
most yellow cards in a World
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah, okay, okay. I think they had what, like 48 fouls and some like 16 cards or
Uh,
something,
fine.
something, something like that. But I think the Dutch. I mean, credit to them. They didn't give up. I mean, they made the substitutions. They had to go for the game, right? They brought in Vegas, okay, and then that free kick. I mean, towards the end of the game. So I think it's never a nice thing as a team that's leading 2-0, and then you get your lead cut in half, like with about 6 minutes or more, plus all that extra time,
And then
because
it
now it forces you now into a position where, look, if you concede, then we're gonna have to go the distance now, where we were very comfortable about 5 minutes earlier, that kind of stuff. But
be- before I bring in anybody else,
mm,
coming off of that point with the 16 yellow cards, which is a World Cup record, by the way.
mm.
Um, Messi had this to say: FIFA has to review that. The referee is not up to par.
Yeah, I saw that.
I sent a
I
video
saw that.
in the group of Emmy Martinez also
Mm,
berating the referee.
mm-hmm,
And I think I saw a quote where Messi was going more in depth
mm-hmm,
of the calls from the referee. And they didn't think that, okay, put it simply, they thought that the referee was incompetent.
mm-hmm.
Simply, just put it that way. They thought the referee was poor. Do you guys, let's go with Cello. Cello, you watch the game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that the referee was poor
He
today?
make some calls that wasn't even for that time. Sometimes some play he stopped the play for play that couldn't make play on because there was some little soft little things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Understand? This is the World Cup, bro. This is not no girls' game. Contact sport TV. Man go get
Right.
touched. But
Exactly.
not every little thing as a man get
Right.
touched, they stop the play. That they kill the
Mm-hmm.
vibes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Sometimes make the game run. Okay, if a man get touched and he go and lose the ball, okay, you can call him back. But if you have the ball in a position, in a strong
Yeah, you
position,
just you
you're gonna
you play
stop the
on.
play.
Right.
When you stop the play, probably okay. Me pan a attack, me get clip, yes, me still pan the run, me pan a attack, you call back the play, you kill the attack. Next thing the
No,
Yeah.
man, you
uh,
call back the play and start to move the man and get him in score. and could just lower up on the attack. The referee and them, some of the referee and them, okay, they have some referees that have been very good in the World Cup. But some of
Yeah.
these referees that referee certain games, the game's too big for them. They make the games get out of hand at times too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point. Fair point. Moy, I want you to speak specifically. Let's jump. We jump into the PKs now. Emi Martinez. I mean, he's not my favorite. He's not my favorite person out there. But this guy, when it comes to penalty, he's a force to be reckoned with. And he has some dances after. You know, he just getting in them man head before when the other kicker coming up. Talk to me about Emi Martinez and how do you think he does this?
I mean, we have to commend him, and it's not just today that he showed that
Mm-hmm.
he's a very good
Penalty
penalty
saver.
stopper. He have done it time and time again. I mean, even after the dances, let's remember that Aston Villa game versus United where Bruno skied it, and he
Yeah.
turned and gave that little dance. I mean, you going up
Copa.
with the penalty, yeah. And I mean, in Cobra with Yerry Mina after these misses, he's trash talking, doing these dances. I mean, even self me as a footballer, and we say it's penalty time, I could be the most confident person there is. I mean, stepping up to Emmy Martinez, doing his history of stopping pens, and the trash talk that he's probably going to give to throw off a game. I think it will be massive. And we normally talk that we normally say that let your actions back up your words when you give
Right.
these kind of talks, and his actions does back him up with those two back-to-back saves in the first two sh- two penalties, and yeah, that was huge for them because I think that helped the Netherlands to get demoralized, and the
Mm-hmm.
rest kickers was trying to build it back up.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. And I feel like sometimes like we were watching the Japan penalty kicks and Spain, and we say what, those are poor penalties. I felt like those penalties today that Emmy saved, I felt like he saved them rather than they were poor penalties.
No, he read them properly. There was well read penalty. It's not like no penalty that he had to just he actually made some brilliant moves.
And
But we
Croatia
all know, we
kicked some
all know,
really good penalties. Just going back
we
to that
all
game.
know Martinez is a very good penalty saver. Not just now, even his time at Arsenal in the lead cups that he used to play in.
Mhm.
You understand? He was always a good penalty saver.
This
And
is his
he
game.
Martinez is a big guy, He's not no
Yeah,
small guy, and he's a very big
yeah,
goalkeeper.
big frame, yeah.
So you just imagine you're a penalty kicker stepping up to a man that you see like probably 6'2", 6'3". I'm big and broad. What do you think? I'm try put
Mm-hmm.
on right down in the
And
corner
halfway,
to beat this
right.
man.
Mhm.
Cause if I go here, if he big enough to get the easy, I'll put him. That's what now when Netherlands score their first penalty, that's what the guy do. He put power on it because if I try to just knock a little placement there, the keeper is big enough to get there to
Yeah.
make the save.
Mhm. I felt like Croatia did that though. In Croatia penalty kicks versus Brazil. Those are
Mm-hmm.
some right in the corner stuff. You're
Right.
gonna have to, you're gonna have to put up your head for
That's
saving them
really.
big.
Yeah.
And
Because Allison is big.
Yeah.
Allison
the
is a
Yeah.
real big
Casemiro,
goalkeeper,
the
bro. Some
Casemiro
of these
penalty
people,
is a
right?
very good example of what you. I mean, his technique to take it as the body structure. I mean, it was easy to see where he was going, but
Mm-hmm.
his technique to kick the ball right amount of power, right there, you have to that was good for him though because the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
keeper striker still didn't reach it.
Mm-hmm. But Shaq, if
Uh,
you looking at the you talking about you going to talk now into the shootout now? Okay, so I question how Van Dijk goes to take that penalty though first. You see, there we go again.
Okay, to be fair,
Mm,
I've been in a couple penalty shootouts in the proper setup.
mm,
And the game, the practice before the
mm,
game, the coach would say, okay, now we're gonna practice PKs to see what's going on.
mm,
And it's based on that. So it must have been because guys, remember these people are humans too. So yes, I may be a good baller, but in that moment, I could say, yo, I can't stomach it. I
mm,
don't I don't have the confidence. And what do you do at that point? What do you do at that point as the coach? He's telling you he's not confident.
Mm.
but you think that he can take it. What do you do as a coach and that point to say, okay, you know what? Say, okay, you hold off and then let a person of a lesser quality, but has the confidence, then step up to take the penalty. So I think it's a bit of a we don't know what went on in training to the Van Dijk. Maybe the man was putting them top corner, and as the captain, maybe he said, "Yo, coach, I got you."
Mm-hmm.
Credit to
Yeah,
Emmy. I think he's
yeah,
a good.
yeah, Ansha. I don't know if y'all remember the situation or y'all saw the video that the Euros where Portugal won out and Joe Moutinho was backing back and didn't want to take a pen
Mhm.
Yeah, and then
because
Ronaldo come and tell him.
Ronaldo went over to him to try to give him the confidence because
Yeah.
he's a more senior player. I mean, I
Right.
guess something like that is also needed, not from the coach, but also
But
the
from some one
players
of the
have to,
teammates,
yeah, to try and build
Yeah.
up the confidence. Because
confident.
hey, we all of us played football, even self watching, and not our teams, and we can still feel goosebumps going up on our
Mm-hmm.
hands. I mean, imagine these players playing for their country.
But I can tell you a similar story. Like I know this is a particular friend of mine, and I know his quality, and he can ball. You know, throughout the game, you would see his quality. But I've seen him take a couple penalties. I'm yet to see him score one. So it's just a different kind of pressure there. It's just a different kind of pressure. Some people are built for it. And that doesn't mean you're not
Mm-hmm.
a good player. I
Yeah,
mean, you're just
Mm-hmm.
not built for that. And coming down to that, I just have a few pictures to share with you guys. But I think that these are some cold pictures. Right after the penalty shootout. This is just cold. These are what the Argentina, everybody who is here in
Yeah.
Argentina photo, frame that. Frame that. Because look at
Mm-hmm.
that. They're rejoicing and watch the Dutch over there. And then look at this now.
Yeah. Yes. But
Tell
Shaq,
me.
you know, but you see, you have to remember what happened before that, right? You remember the foul on Nathan Ake? Was it Ake?
yeah,
And then I think he cleared the ball. Now I didn't realize that's what happened. That he kicked the ball into the bench. The fellas
Yes.
in the bench, right?
Yeah, paraded.
And the fellas rush out. Now I saw that, and then you see Van Dijk came and
But
who it was?
football, I love that game for that, you know.
Yeah,
I
and
love
yeah.
the
The
game.
whole bench is
It
empty.
was chippy.
Yeah, and I mean, it got really feisty towards the latter part of the game and stuff like that, and I think it's a little bit of stuff that you normally don't see that on an international stage though.
Yeah,
Even more so a World Cup,
you could
right? I
tell
think
that's
there's
on the line.
mutual respect, but Argentina and Holland have such a
Yeah,
history that goes all the way back into the 70s and stuff like that,
yeah,
and where like they shared the meetings in terms of who prevails, in terms of that. But I didn't see that kind of stuff coming out from it at the end until when the benches came out, and I think
yeah. I was
Dumfries got
wondering
the
why
red
they
card.
reacted like that, and then
Right,
until
until
uh,
yeah, until you see that clearance. I mean, did he have to do that? I mean, the players are right there. I mean, on the side of the bench to
what's
do
the bar?
something like that. Yeah.
What's the
But
bar?
what me want to say right, Shaq,
Let's go.
before this game even go to penalty, right? Me don't say no Argentina go win this in a
Mm-hmm.
penalty. Me confident Argentina go win in a penalty. Come they even tell my friends so. Come my friend say, boy, me go for Netherlands. Me tell you, boys, Messi want this year. Messi
Yeah.
so want this year, right? Just watch how the man play the whole game. He
Mm-hmm.
involved in everything. One time I see Messi drop deep from ball and pull three players with him. And
Mm-hmm.
then Argentina end up and get a chance down on the left hand side. Right? Messi wanted this. Messi built so much confidence in the players and them, right? That the
Yeah.
man they play with so much confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And that they, you see, when you have somebody like that in your team, that they lift your team spirit so high because you
Well,
know this man has standard.
of
Everybody
course.
try for
That's
play
right.
for this man your
Yep.
standard. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? This man your name alone raise the standard of the team.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? He really wanted it. He go
Mm-hmm.
all out. You
Yeah.
understand? And that's
Yeah.
what captain is supposed to do. Rally your
Mm-hmm.
troops and say, let's go,
Right.
let's go. Go
Right.
hard or go
But
home.
but Shaq, that's the second. Like, okay, if you look at the history of the Dutch in terms of penalty shootouts, probably at that stage, they have not. I remember in '98, the World Cup in '98. They got knocked out to Brazil in the penalty shootout.
Okay,
They got
man.
knocked out in 2014 as well to Argentina again in a
Right.
penalty shootout, right? So it hasn't really followed them well. Maybe they probably they do well in terms of normal time, extra time, in terms of progressing. But when it comes to a penalty shootout against probably a bigger country or equally as good as them, then they haven't gotten over that hurdle.
And to be honest, I'm trying to think of my years watching the Netherlands team. They've always threatened to deceive. Let me
Hmm.
put it. It's they have a lot of promise, but then
Yeah,
it always peters out at the end.
Yeah, when
I
it
mean,
come
right.
I
down
think
to the
the
nitty
last time
gritty.
they went right, they got beaten. They got beaten. Spain beat them, ain't it?
Yeah, in
In,
the final,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the final, and that was a
right.
really good Dutch team with
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes and stuff like that.
right.
Van der Vaart and so in that team.
Robin threw two one-on-one
Robin,
chances against
yeah,
against
that is
Casillas.
true. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean,
Uh,
the Dutch. I think they need to do they need to get over that or the next hurdle.
yeah.
To get over that next hurdle. But guys, let's jump forward. Go ahead, Cello.
Not
Have
just
fun.
them alone had that problem, they know. Barcelona had a kind of little curse in the past couple
Well, yeah.
quarterfinals, the
Yes,
past four to
quarterfinals
five
for the last
quarterfinal.
four out of five. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you were
yeah.
out at this time, Cello, but I was telling them fellas, I didn't see. It's been a while since I've seen the flair and the panache from Brazil
Mm,
that we grew up watching.
right.
We're not seeing that. I don't need to
Yeah,
get back. I mean, yes, we see the samba after they score a goal, and
right.
they want to dance for 2 minutes. But during the game, I'm not seeing that
Yeah, you're not
free
seeing enough of
flowing.
it.
It seems
Yeah,
like they tackled some. I don't like that.
yeah.
Remember that it's 2010 World Cup was in Brazil.
No, 2014.
2014, yeah. Okay.
Mm,
Even if it was at home, I think you saw a different Brazil. Even if it was the crowd rallying them. Even if in the stadium they had a lot of fans and the fans were
mm,
singing. I mean,
mm,
you didn't see a Neymar picking up the ball and trying to glide through.
right.
I didn't even see.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
want to
have that
pinpoint.
directness.
I didn't
Yeah.
see a game like Vinny when he picked up
Mm,
the ball against Man City and he was driving fears in
Right,
these kind of persons' eyes.
right.
You
right.
didn't see any of that because I told y'all that in the group earlier after the first game. You didn't see any of this because when you think of Brazil, you think of these players having fun. When they have fun, it's trouble,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
trouble.
But
and you didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, just like
individually,
what Shaq said. You know,
yeah, you were more
Brazilian grab the ball,
exciting.
knock him step over.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right, but you were citing Vinny. You said just now Vinny and Neymar. You remember the goal? No, it wasn't a goal. It was Neymar had a run in maybe like PSG's last game or second to last game,
Mhm.
where the man take on about six different players. You see Vinny doing that for Real Madrid.
Right.
Then like no,
Yeah.
they come
Yeah, you
together
have to.
and it's
That's it. You
supposed
have to
to
do
be
that.
liquid football. They just
Right.
missed it.
Yeah.
they were missing that one. I mean, I know we say they have a deep team, and we're not really signaling them for out to be that one showman. But I think they needed that one showman to pick up and just give me the ball and let me have fun, like what we normally see Neymar do, gather the headlines.
Right.
If it wasn't Neymar, it had to be Vinny or one of them.
Hmm.
All right, so that's that.
Yeah.
Brazil are out. Who else is out? Netherlands are out. We set up
Netherlands
a
out. Yeah.
great Croatia versus Argentina semi-final, and we're gonna
Semi.
preview that more in depth on next week. What should be Tuesday? Should be Tuesday, God's willing.
Hmm.
Well, when is the game? The
Yeah.
game is Tuesday, isn't it? When's the
I
game? I
think
think the
it's
game is
within
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday.
Right. So then when the next show, we know the result of that.
Mm,
We know the result of that.
right.
So nevertheless, we're gonna jump forward to a crucial game tomorrow, guys, because I
Hmm.
think Tuco and Celo went France
yeah, France.
to
Yeah.
win,
I would,
and
Yeah.
myself and Moy said England. And you know what? We shared a video of Kyle Walker interview in the group the other day, and we
Hmm.
had all say to say on it. And just in general, I've seen a lot of players from the England camp making the point that, yo, stop making it seem as if we are nobodies and France is just going to come and steamroll us. So I feel like in the England camp now, they have in their mind, they're like, yo, we're not going to lose. We're
Mm-hmm.
not going to lose. We're coming to fight hard. Everybody still, though, expects France to win. Is there a way, Sukwa, you went for France and then we're going to go to Cello, who also went to France?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there a way you think
Well,
England can get at
yeah.
France?
Yeah, because remember in the preview when we were doing or when we were getting our predictions before, I always said that this English team, in terms of how I've seen them play, albeit they say that they haven't been tested.
Right,
You know how that goes, but you can only be tested at the point that where you actually reach. So now they reach against one of the favorites. Whilst they themselves have been more or less, been trying to build themselves up to that point. Okay. Um, again, I always said that front team, you have a Foden, you have Saka, you have Rashford, right? These are guys who would run at any defense, basically. No matter, there's no name in that. There's no name. That's just
right,
the ability to do it. And I said that that is gonna be one of the problems that any defense basically face it, even if it's center backs and stuff like that. Because Varane, for example, is not one of the youngest. I mean, his better years probably have been behind him during his
yeah,
years for Real Madrid.
mhm,
You're gonna face guys of those same three that I call with pace, and I mean that is the future of England going forward, right? Harry Kane will probably just play a role where he drops deep and he just looks for them,
right,
right? Ball over the top and stuff like that, and to me, I haven't seen enough of Jules Kounde, right, in terms of how having to try to hold, because now you're gonna have, I think it's Kunde and Theo Hernandez. Hernandez is a very good fullback. I mean, you just have to see him on the day itself, but I still have my reservations about somebody like Kunde to probably hold. If it's Foden on the left, or you're gonna start Rashford in, or you're gonna bring Rashford in to try to change the game and stuff like that. So I just think again is the pace that those boys have up
right.
front. I have
Uh,
not seen that in other teams that England have brought in since 2010, 2014. I haven't seen that kind of youthfulness and that kind of pace going forward, and that is the kind of thing that really basically will win you a game, really, right? And they are not slouches. I mean, they're performing
yeah,
very well for the clubs right now when you're
yep.
looking at it from a domestic level. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, when I said France, I'm just saying this, maybe France on the experience part of it,
Yeah,
but
I get it. I get it. I
but
get it. I
it
get it, bro.
is it is it's gonna be that kind of game where
Probably gonna be
Southgate has a
a
young.
balance here. Mm.
Yes, he has the team. You have Declan in the middle. You have guys who can actually try to control a bit of play. You have Kane. I mean, Kane has been experienced enough to try to pull. Okay, he plays like a whole like an attacking midfielder. He has the runners in front of him, right? And I just think again, I think for both teams is just the centre back roles that would probably be a little bit susceptible,
Fair
right,
enough.
at the
Fair.
end of the day.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello. Let me come to you. What about England would worry you? If you are the France coach, what are you game planning for?
Look, England going forward is very dangerous as any team out there. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of young, excited players. You understand? They have one of the best goal scorer in the world in Harry Kane. On his day, he can be unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
On his day. You understand? So that's one thing you have to be scared about. Because a Harry Kane on his day can damage you real bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the opportunity, he will score 5 and 4 goals. Because a man that can turn and shoot from anyway, left foot and right foot. You understand? So that's very worrying. You understand?
Hmm?
But the thing is now, the reason why make me choose France, you understand? As Soko say, France have more experience.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And the thing is, You see, like everybody press conference, them say Mbappe this, Mbappe that. They're not worried about Mbappe. Trust me. Them the only said that for make it look good on them behalf in for the media. But in their
Mm.
heart, that
Don't
one
worry.
man they alone a big problem for them. Yesterday, me read on some where a French player say Kyle Walker say he had a solution for stop Mbappe. 19 other teams in League One want another solution. So we shall see tomorrow because
Mm.
he keep on
Again,
saying, everybody making it about Mbappe, about Mbappe. Mbappe alone a handful for every other team that he face. So let's see his solution tomorrow.
Mm.
And we will
I
see.
want
But
And
I
Cello,
want
in a
to
way,
say it
right?
again.
Let me just add that, right, Cello, in the way, right, you have to inspire some form of confidence in the
uh,
camp, right? So the thing about it is they're not only saying really, I don't really see it being for the media. I more see it trying to build the guys' confidence in the back. The guys will be
Yeah, that's
going on
true.
the field. So you just say, you know what, he's one person, yes, you have to pay attention to him, but Giroud can create damage on his day. I've seen
Yeah,
Giroud score goals. Antoine Griezmann, that a man that has barely
yeah,
have any kind of serious minutes
yeah,
from
Alex.
Atletico, wherever he plays right now, right? Okay, Atletico Madrid. This man is on free kicks. This man has won a World Cup before already. He might not be on the kind of form, but on the day, there are other weapons apart,
yeah.
that can actually
It still
create a
have
problem.
Dembele.
Osman Dembele,
Still have
right?
Dembele.
Dembele. You keep speaking about the left wing. We even talk about the right wing. On the right wing, Osman Dembele has the pace as well to create a lot of problems too. So you just have to it's just something just ready to inspire some
Right,
form of
yeah.
confidence, right?
But the thing is
For
now,
them. But we
Dembele,
have to see
remember,
it.
Dembele a man that can use left foot and right foot. He can go left, he
Right.
can go
He
right.
yeah.
You don't know which one is
Yeah.
strong foot, because he can use the two foot
Hmm.
and then well.
Boy,
Yeah.
having heard Sukor and Celo, have they changed your mind?
No, I still see England as favorites in this game, and I've heard the reporter made a very strong point that he was coming from. We're talking about this foot race between Mbappe and Kyle Walker, and none of Mbappe's goals for the World Cup has even came from him just speeding down and doing what we know he accustomed to do. So we should
Point.
be expecting a lot, but it's something that we could still see, you know. But I mean, it's a very good matchup because it can't be about Mbappe alone because Giroud is strong and has these intricate touches that we know that is so brilliant of him, and Griezmann still be that creative player for them will still be huge. But I still think England can just manage to nick it out. I just think they need to not worry about what anyone else on the outside is saying, trying to get in their heads. Just stick to
Hmm.
what Southgate is saying, play their own game. I think they will be good.
I think perfect point. And
But I
I
want to
think
cut you right, more. I don't
right.
want to cut you. But me hear report today even make a point here with the same Walker situation. As the man was saying now, he watched Walker against Senegal. And there's a few times the Senegalese player get one Walker very easy. You understand? Because he haven't been playing much for his club because he was injured. So
Right.
what the guy is saying now, he actually lose pace a bit. You understand from what he was seeing against Senegal. So what he's saying now, the pace that France has on both wings could even be a problem for England. You understand?
I mean, you're
Yeah,
right. I mean, Celo, both teams, sorry, more. Both
uh,
teams have, like Suku mentioned, Saka and Rashford and Foden.
Yeah, you can't
Both,
take that away from them.
and we can mention the same thing on the other side. That's why I think England's approach should be flat fee across the middle. Try and win the game in the middle of the park. Be more
Hmm.
combative than them India versus Tushimeni and who has been playing India and
Kamavinga.
And
Cam,
Kamavinga.
my boy from Juventus,
who
Rabio.
that?
Rabiol, wait,
Rabio,
Rabiol.
right,
Rabio.
Rabio.
Mm.
Try and win the game India. Don't play with an out and out 10. Don't try to bring back Mount into the team.
Well, to be honest, right? I believe that's where England can win the game if they win the game in
Right.
the midfield because the
Hmm.
likes of Henderson and June
Yeah,
Bellingham
Bellingham. Yeah,
and Declan
Declan
Rice.
Rice.
A game
Yeah.
like this needs with Henderson and Declan Rice and June Bellingham. That would be a very very tough midfield to
Yeah.
for fans to break.
They got legs. They got
You
legs.
understand? Bring back Mason Mount in the team. That's a no-no.
No.
Yeah,
No.
That's
I
a
don't think
no-no.
No.
I don't think Sterling comes back in. I don't think Mount comes back
He has
in.
to train
No,
right
you
now.
have to ride on the team that you
Yeah.
have
Leave it.
that
Leave
that
it the way
that
it
brought
is.
you in for the last two games.
Yep. Leave it the
Because
way
the
it is.
thing
Yeah.
is now Henderson bring experience and a bit
Right.
quality
Yeah.
with alongside those two experienced midfielder in Bellingham because he have more experience than them. So for
Hmm.
experience, he will kind of shield them and kind of how you
Yeah.
understand. He will talk to them. Henderson will talk to them.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what you're gonna have to be. And I keep saying it's gonna be a really good encounter. And I hope so because plenty of times we say, oh, this is a big game. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tough.
Right.
Then it
It's
just
gonna
be
be
like
tough. It's gonna
a
be tight.
snooze fest. I
Yeah.
hope it's not a snooze fest. I want to
Hmm.
see good football. I think like Stella. I think he went for 3-2 France. If
Yeah,
that's the case, I'm hoping. And I'm seeing it go into the side of England. But if that's the case of any side, I'll be good because what their goals, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be saves. Lloris
Hmm.
Yep.
is suspect, by the way, guys. You heard it here first. Keep an eye on Hugo Lloris. Actually, I don't trust it. I don't trust Lloris. So then you know what, guys? We got like 3 more minutes to go.
Hmm.
What's it? What we're sticking with your prediction? 3-2 sell of France.
yeah, 3-2.
Anybody
Yeah.
Because
change
I know
your
it's gonna be a tough game. Goals are gonna score, but I
score?
just feel at the end of the day, France is gonna edge them.
All
Hmm.
right. Okay, you're sticking with it, Sukwa.
I think I gave something like 2-1. I think it was very 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 tight.
Yeah,
Very
2-1.
tight
Yeah,
between
Soko
the
said
two.
2-1.
Yeah. Very tight
Yeah.
between the two.
I feel so. Who Portugal playing again?
Morocco.
Morocco.
Oh, Morocco, guys.
That's
Does the
yeah.
score line for that? Oh, okay, let me not say score line. Can Morocco? That's the question. This is the final question we're gonna do for the night.
Mm.
Can Morocco do it? Can Morocco
Eh,
upset Portugal?
at this present moment, anything is possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
outside that
Depends
anything is possible.
depends on how Portugal come out tomorrow.
Hmm.
That's what you have to say. Depends on how if they come out
Yeah.
with the way how they play the last game,
The,
Morocco can be in big trouble. But if they
the, the,
come
Yeah.
out how they play in the group stage, Morocco can put
Yeah.
them in problem.
the lineup would be interesting
The
tomorrow. I think
lineup could be
everybody will be
interesting.
glued to that
Yeah.
lineup when it comes out to see
Well, I'm
what
gonna
they
be honest.
do.
If the coach go with the same team, Portuguese team that he start the last game, that's a
You think?
that's a without
You think?
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
If you bring Ronaldo back in the team tomorrow,
No,
that's
yeah,
gonna mash up the
yeah.
chemistry
It
that the
right.
team
The
built
flow and the
Mm,
fluidity
and
of
the
that
flow
team
of the
right now.
football.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
So
understand the team?
yeah,
Um, Shaq, I think they start the same team. I don't
have to.
see him. Rafael Guerrero has played very well. You're not gonna drop Diego Dallo right now. I think Cancelo
He's
probably
been
have
doing
to
well,
be
even for man.
right,
Absolutely.
right, and then he has his weapons like Rafael Leao and the other guys off the bench, right? So
Yeah.
I think again Bruno will be on the ball. Um, I just think that probably what would have to work for Morocco is that they'll have to just try to see maybe like the last game where like they were able to move the ball. They have some good pace in the team and stuff like that. Just see how they can use that to their advantage
But they're
Yeah,
gonna
well,
in a
sit,
match
man.
like
Morocco
that.
I
gonna
hope
sit.
it's a kid. I hope it's not a cagey affair either. Although I think
Mm,
that may be Morocco's best approach.
that's
More
it.
you trying to get in?
yeah, I don't something I should share. I heard somebody made a very interesting take. They were talking about the whole situation between Ronaldo getting benched, and they
Mm,
were saying they think that it's kind of unfair, and it kind of made sense to me because they were saying that it's the first time that we see Portugal putting out a very attacking lineup. It's normally,
mm,
they're using that two holding
right.
CDMs and that
Yeah.
attacking players. So then it just benefited Concalo Ramos at the point in time.
Mm.
All these attacking players going
Absolutely
forward,
great
making
pick.
all these creativities.
Mm.
And they were
Okay.
making the point saying if Ronaldo was there, it would probably be the same situation. which
Interesting.
we won't really know about it, but seeing and just listening to it, it kind of makes sense because the normal setup and whatever
Can,
and whatnot. Yeah, but I heard
yeah.
Cancelo said he seemed like the manager has a problem with him, and they said that Bernard and Ruben Diaz had to go and talk to him about whatever and so I don't know what's going on there
Hmm.
also.
But on
And so
that
that,
point that you make right, more. On that point that you make right. See, Ronaldo getting older and he lose pace. That next guy
Okay.
is a very pacey guy.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to look at that too. It's not just that
I
because
mean,
if Ronaldo was there, it
we
would be the
all
same
know.
situation. But so that again, shot.
I think I'd like tomorrow's point. We really would know if Ronaldo would have scored three. If
Yeah,
Ronaldo
Ronaldo would have
scored
scored three
three,
or not. So you have to
he
just
would have
say,
scored none.
yeah. So you have to just say, okay, that guy comes in and he comes
Yeah,
in
I
with
just
intention. I have to try to prove a point as Ronaldo is going to be back in the team.
Yeah, the
So
man
every
come and do his job.
the ball just
That's what,
drop T and you just do what you have to do. You take your chance on them perfectly and hats off to him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well then, that's it, guys. That's it. Anybody else have
Yep.
any last point they want to bring in? Because I'm just ready for more football. That's all. That's
Amen.
all. I mean, I wanted some good game. When the last goal, when the second goal for Netherlands went in, I remember because I was watching the game with more. I looked over like, that man really made that happen. I just feel like anything that can be drama related, we're
Hmm.
going to get it in this World Cup. That's what I
Yeah.
feel
That
like.
was that was poor defending shot. That
The sports
defender that
on the
went to
second
ground
one. Mm,
on the free kick, the defender that
Hmm.
yeah,
went to ground, all he had to do stay on his feet.
yeah,
All he had to do stay on his feet. If he stay on his feet, it's a possibility the ball go straight to the goalkeeper, or the ball hit him and go for a corner. Him going to the
Hmm.
ground make the finish more easier for the man.
Hmm.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just don't think the defender himself that created that foul. Why
yeah.
why in the first place you following the man on
We
the edge
need
of the
that
box?
challenge there.
That wasn't
And they
making
had
any
a
sense.
couple like that, Sukwa.
Yes.
One
Yeah.
before that too. With
Right.
The
Berg,
free kick was
You're
the free kick
inviting that
was
kind of pressure. Just let the
it
guys
was a
have the
good
ball
free
and then
kick.
see. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, it was. It was.
It was a
yeah.
good
all the
because that
comments.
that catch them now. Even the man that
So
behind the wall that lie
Yeah.
down.
I saw this 2 years ago in the Bundesliga.
Wolfsburg.
Weghorst
Wolfsburg.
did it. Yeah,
Yes. Vegas
I
did it.
saw that. They did the same play, and
Same play.
they
Yeah.
scored too.
Yeah.
So you see, if
Yep.
they're working on something, like I said, Arsenal, watch that because we could use that. We could use that sometime, Use that sometime when we're trying to
Well.
Yeah, I think we're
uh,
going to do that now.
no, we need Weghorst to do that. We need
Well.
Weghorst.
Well. Well. Shaq, I
And we
have to
have
get
Granit. We have
Gabriel
Granit.
Hey,
Morales in my back four now because that's it. We have to move on.
go again.
Gabriel Morales. We need to get him in the back four now because man like Marquinhos and them the time
Oh, you talk about
David
for
Silva.
Brazil.
Yeah, for
And
Brazil going forward.
I thought you
All
were
right.
trying to
So
be
that's it.
rude,
That's
rude
it.
and you and say you want Gabriel Magalhaes in Chelsea's defense.
Oh no, 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 no. For
I
our back
thought
four
you
for
be,
Brazil
I thought you
going
be
forward.
rude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's
that's
and
it.
Martinelli.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Martinelli should have been playing over who the dude on the right side, Rafinha.
Rafinha. Yeah,
Because
because
even
Rafinha.
Anthony when he came on looked way more dangerous
Yes.
than
Yeah.
Rafinha.
And Rafinha.
It's not,
Rafinha
it's
just not
not
taking on the defenders.
you
Yeah.
have to be afraid of
The way that.
Rodrigo.
Hmm.
Yeah, sure. I think Rafinha. It was game after game after game. We saw him and he's like, "Nah, you're not
Yeah.
doing it. It's not happening for you.
Yeah.
It's not happening for
But some
you."
of these guys, I mean, remember you have to remember they're very young. That's their first World Cup coming in.
Yeah,
Um,
true. That's a fair
so
point.
that builds some because for me, I'm just looking at it from a Brazil fan perspective. That front three, front four, where these guys are young. These guys have about
That's
like two, three
easy. They
World
do
Cups.
it for the
So
next
that's
World
good,
Cup
good
again.
going forward. These are things that you can take from that. Even though if you're a fan, like if your team, so let's just say like if England, for example, gets knocked out, if that happens, you still have a young team that's going forward because that's like that's the core of the youth going
Yeah.
forward. So these
I
guys
mean,
gonna be there for the next 4 and 8 years going
when
forward,
you
right?
look at it, Sukwa,
Mm,
Thiago Silva is not
right.
coming for the
Yeah,
World Cup.
that's his last World Cup. He already said so.
Maybe Marquinhos can probably squeeze in another World Cup.
Probably,
Like
probably.
he can,
So,
I feel like
Yeah.
he can squeeze in another World Cup.
Hmm.
Um, the midfield. Paquette is young. Bruno
Yeah,
Guimaraes is young.
yeah. Gimares is young.
Um,
Yeah, I
Fred
think.
isn't
I think
old.
no, and I think probably like Casimir is what 30.
Yes.
He probably
He
gonna have one more with him.
yes, but he won't probably won't be a starter.
He won't be a starter by that
More
time.
than
Yeah,
likely in 2026, God's willing, you're coming back
right.
with the same team.
Yeah,
Give
yeah,
and take, give and take,
right.
new
And then you're
people.
just hoping that these guys would have learned a
And
lot
it's
more.
the
With
same thing
experience
to
going forward.
England, isn't it?
Yeah,
Harry Kane should have another World Cup in him.
yeah. He has probably another one.
Kyle Walker probably this is the last World Cup.
Yeah, I don't
We
think
should keep him in there.
Trippier. I don't think Trippier probably would be.
Trippier should be done too.
Yeah,
What about this? A
Yeah,
young midfield. It's
Trippier
a
on
very
yeah,
young
31 or 32.
yeah.
Trippier
yeah,
It's
is
a very
31 or
yeah.
32.
Declan Rice and Bellingham. Oh,
Right.
Henderson.
That
This is
is it.
Henderson's last
Yeah,
World Cup.
yeah. Right, right. So you
Yeah,
still have
England,
the
so
core, and then you have the
England
attack.
twenty-two.
These
with
are
young
guys.
people coming up still,
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I remember Reece James didn't even make this team.
right. Can you imagine?
So
Can you
this
Hey,
year
imagine?
this
remember,
is his last
remember
World
Chidwell
Cup.
and them, I saw them man kill young. The Chidwell, them man, I saw them man 23 and 24. So,
and
Yeah,
Right.
Sterling. This is probably Sterling's last World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we call about four names there. So
Right.
still pretty much 4 to 26. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Or like Connor Cody and so.
Candy Maguire last World Cup.
Yeah,
There might be Candy Maguire last World Cup too.
yeah. And the man might win it all. But hey, I'm hoping. What I'm saying. This is the last point we make it. We close.
Mm.
But I think anyway, the World Cup turns, they're gonna be good matchup because I
Right.
just say Argentina and Croatia.
Yeah.
I say Argentina
That's a
wins and goes
rematch.
to the
That's
final.
a rematch from 4 years ago.
On the other side of the tree,
The bracket.
you have the bracket. You have France and England, and
Mm-hmm.
you have Portugal and
Right.
Morocco. Of course, we hope,
Yeah.
sure, thinking that Portugal will knock out Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
And then anyhow, any of those three teams, it'll be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Even the place match is going to be a game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't often say that. So we're looking forward to it again tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back again, God's willing, on Tuesday.
Right.
Talk more about the game and what we're seeing. And slowly, as we wean off of the World Cup,
Yeah.
football
Return.
is coming right back. Like, we're gonna be on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna be on top of it. I know I'm probably gonna get in some a few heated exchange with my good friend Cello, but I'm enjoying the World Cup break while we have it.
Yeah. Of
Enjoying the
course.
World Cup break while we have it because I don't know. Come after the World Cup, the man go want to tell me some stripper. Let's go Eddie and
More,
Ketty.
I want message more I send you. One message more I send you out of the game. By striker.
All right, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Left
more.
Balligande fans. Left Balligande fans may continue develop and buy a striker.
That's right.
All right, Cello. You know what? Send your list of suggestions to him. I'm pretty sure he will look at them.
I'm going to pay you a visit just now. Because I go London just now.
All right, perfect stuff. But man in Qatar, remember he in Qatar now, in Dubai, I should say. He in Dubai now. So you gotta wait till he comes back. Well, guys, thanks again for joining us. It was a really good talk. We link up again on Tuesday, guys.
All right.
Thank you for watching Island Fans. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when there are new videos and updates. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and like us on Facebook. Island Fans, for the passion of the game.